Okay, awesome. Welcome to day 7 in the foreclosure funnel system. If you made it to this part in the series, I want to say congrats. You are now learning the exact steps from start to finish on how to close your foreclosure deal. Let's get started. So, from day 7, this process will include the deal closing steps when it comes to submitting your contracts and getting your contract signs and exactly what to do. If you need help filling out the contracts, agreements, or forms during the process, make sure to watch the classroom video titled Rabbit Sign. Okay, it's day 7 of the sales process. So, what does that mean? It's time to get those contracts signed. This is where you make it your top priority to follow up with both the seller and the buyer. Initiate the conversation and use Rabbit Sign, one of the free tools or resources that we use for sending out contracts for signing. Part of filling out your contract is knowing which title company you will select. It has to be investor friendly that understands how to do a double closing. The title company you select must be accepted by both the seller and the buyer during your foreclosure funnel system process. This will ensure a smooth transaction between all parties without delays. If you need help finding a preferred title company or remote notary to handle the process, connect with me by sending me a message in the school community or text or email me for assistance. All right. So at this point, it's time to get your AB contract signed. This is the contract that's between you and the seller. This is where you now have the official debt owed confirmed, either by email received from the lender or over the phone confirmation. The total debt amount payoff is the amount you write on the AB contract as the purchase price. If your profit is determined to be higher than normal or above $15,000, we encourage this as an opportunity to help the seller with some relocation assistance. We typically offer up to $5,000 for any down payments or moving expenses on us. Okay, once the seller signs the contract, then proceed to the BC contract with the buyer. All right, now the seller has signed the AB contract. It's time to follow up with the buyer by text or email and let them know that their offer has been accepted and you'd like to proceed. You'll need to consider the difference between the total debt amount owed and the seller and the offer price mentioned by the buyer from the day after inspection. If it's applicable, your BC purchase price to the buyer will be your total amount of your profit and any spare relocation assistance to help out the seller. This amount will be paid to them upon closing. Once the agreement is signed, you are to contact the title company and request wire instructions. This could be requested prior to signing or after. Make sure the EMD amount is between $5,000 to $10,000 to vet out serious buyers. All right, cool. Both agreements have been signed by both parties, and now escrow is open with the EMD submitted. You now have the total amounts required to complete both transactions. This includes closing and selling costs associated with your deal. What's next? Your main focus from here on out is to take both the A, B, and BC contracts and submit it to your transactional lender. You must make sure you have a total price breakdown for buying the property and selling the property from the title company before you proceed to request the funding, or these will become out of pocket expenses that might delay or cancel your deal. Typical funding approval is 24 hours. All right, so here's what to expect for the timeline at title. This process is the largest part of the deal closing process. Expect results within 2 weeks or less. Be sure to account for the closing cost according to your state or county. Typical closing cost is 2 to 5% for the buyers and 6 to 10% for the sellers. When you close with your seller as a buyer, account for the 2 to 5% closing costs. Respected parties are expected to pay their own closing fees. And then when you sell the deal to your buyer for a profit, account for the 6 to 10% closing cost. So in total, account for 15% in fees to be deducted from your profits, plus the interest rates charged by the lender for borrowing the funds. So to be on the safe side, account for 18% in total fees to close on the foreclosure deal using a double closing strategy. And that's it. Your deal successfully closed and you made a profit. These videos are made for you to keep in mind how to complete the deal closing process with confidence. Whenever you get your contract signed, feel free to watch these videos from day 1 to day 7 as much as you like to execute your deals. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to me by texting help to 814-831-9853. And be sure to watch all the other videos to learn more about sending emails, pulling leads from county records, filling out contracts, and analyzing your deals. Thanks for watching.